April 30th, 1945. The official story says Adolf Hitler committed suicide in his bunker in Berlin as Soviet troops closed in. His body was burned, and the remains were found by Russian soldiers. Case closed, right? Wrong. For decades, rumors persisted that Hitler escaped Germany and lived out his days in secret. And here's the shocking part. The FBI took these rumors seriously. Declassified FBI documents reveal that for years after World War II, American intelligence agencies investigated credible reports of Hitler sightings across South America. Were these just conspiracy theories, or was there real evidence that the most evil man in history faked his death? Today, we're diving into the declassified files and examining the evidence. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear will make you question everything you thought you knew about Hitler's death. Let's start with the official story. On April 30th, 1945, with Soviet forces just blocks away from his underground bunker, Hitler allegedly shot himself while simultaneously biting down on a cyanide capsule. His new wife, Eva Braun, took cyanide and died beside him. Hitler's staff carried their bodies up to the garden, poured gasoline on them, and set them on fire. When Soviet troops found the remains, they were badly burned and difficult to identify. The Soviets kept Hitler's supposed skull fragments and jawbone as proof. For decades, this was accepted as fact. But here's where it gets interesting. The Soviets were extremely secretive about their findings. They didn't allow Western investigators to examine the remains. Joseph Stalin himself publicly stated in 1945 that he believed Hitler had escaped. Why would Stalin say this if his own troops had found Hitler's body? Was Stalin playing mind games, or did he know something we didn't? Now let's talk about those FBI files. In 2014, the FBI released hundreds of declassified documents from their Hitler investigation files. These weren't random conspiracy theories. These were official intelligence reports that the FBI deemed credible enough to investigate. And what these files reveal is absolutely stunning. The most detailed report came in September 1945, just 4 months after Hitler's supposed death. An informant told the FBI that Hitler had arrived in Argentina by submarine and was living on a massive estate in the foothills of the Andes Mountains. The report included specific details, the name of the estate, descriptions of the buildings, and even the route Hitler allegedly took to get there. The FBI sent agents to investigate. They interviewed witnesses, examined documents, and followed leads across South America. But this wasn't the only report. Between 1945 and 1947, the FBI received multiple credible sightings of Hitler in Argentina, Colombia, and Brazil. One report described Hitler living in a German community in southern Brazil. Another claimed he was spotted in a hotel in Colombia. Each report came from different sources: intelligence operatives, Argentine police, European refugees who claimed to recognize him. The FBI investigated each one seriously. Here's what makes these reports credible. We know for a fact that thousands of high-ranking Nazis escaped to South America after the war. Adolf Eichmann lived in Argentina for 15 years before Israeli agents captured him in 1960. Joseph Mengele, the Nazi doctor, lived comfortably in Brazil until his death in 1979. Hundreds of SS officers, Gestapo agents, and Nazi officials fled to Argentina with help from the Vatican, Red Cross, and corrupt officials. This escape network was real and well documented. It's called the rat lines. So if Eichmann and Mengele could escape, why not Hitler? Let's examine how it could have happened. In the final weeks of the war, Berlin was surrounded. But Hitler's bunker had multiple escape tunnels. Some historians believe Hitler used these tunnels to reach a waiting aircraft. Germany still controlled some airfields until the very end. A plane could have taken him to Spain, which was friendly to Nazi Germany. From Spain, he could have boarded a U-boat to Argentina. And here's a fact that supports this theory. In July 1945, 2 months after Germany's surrender, German submarine U-530 surrendered in Argentina. The captain claimed they were just trying to escape prosecution. But why sail all the way to Argentina? Why not surrender to the British or Americans much closer to home? Some researchers believe this submarine could have been transporting high-value cargo or passengers. The timing is suspicious. Now let's address the evidence that Hitler did die in the bunker. The strongest evidence is testimony from his staff. Multiple people who were in the bunker that day testified they saw Hitler's body. his personal pilot, his secretaries, his valet. They all confirmed the suicide. These people had no reason to lie, especially since they were being interrogated by Allied forces who desperately wanted to find Hitler if he was alive. There's also the dental evidence. The Soviets found a jawbone that they claimed was Hitler's. In 2009, researchers were finally allowed to examine these remains. The teeth matched Hitler's dental records perfectly. Hitler had very distinctive dental work, bridges, crowns, and unusual modifications. The jawbone's teeth were an exact match. This seems like pretty strong evidence. But wait, here's the problem. In 2009, American researchers conducted DNA tests on the skull fragment that the Soviets claimed was Hitler's. The results were shocking. The skull belonged to a woman, not Hitler. The Soviets had either lied about the skull or they had been fooled. If they were wrong about the skull, what else were they wrong about? Could someone have planted fake dental remains? Recent investigations have uncovered more interesting evidence. In 2017, CIA documents were declassified showing that American intelligence agencies believed Hitler survived at least into the 1950s. They tracked reported sightings and investigated multiple leads. Why would the CIA spend resources on this if they were certain Hitler was dead? Here's another fascinating detail. Hitler's personal plane, a Junkers Ju-52, went missing at the end of the war. This plane was last seen in April 1945 and never recovered. Could Hitler have used this plane to escape? So was Hitler's death faked? Here's what we know for certain. The evidence of his death in the bunker is based mainly on eyewitness testimony and dental remains that the Soviets controlled for decades. The FBI and CIA took escape theories seriously enough to investigate for years. Thousands of Nazis successfully escaped to South America using established networks, and Hitler had the resources, the connections, and the motivation to attempt an escape. Does this prove he survived? No, but it creates reasonable doubt. The truth is, we may never know with absolute certainty what happened in that bunker on April 30th, 1945. The mystery remains unsolved. What do you think? Did Hitler die in Berlin, or did he escape? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed diving into this declassified mystery, hit that subscribe button for more World War II secrets. Thanks for watching.